All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Build It Through Culture Live. We're so happy you could join us tonight, as Steph and I always come to you about every other week or so, talking about culture, talking about building a business, building an organization, building a family using culture. And I am Rob Genovese. If you don't know me, I am the owner of Unleash My Beats brand. We are a branding and design company that I founded several years ago. And I leverage my graphic design skills towards owning a business. And today that's what I do. And this is my culture collaborator, Steph Bellafato. Steph, tell them who you are.
Hey, everybody. Stephanie Bellafato here. I represent Servpro, Putnam County. We're a local disaster recovery specialist. We take care of all kinds of disasters you don't want to, from water, fire, mold, biohazard. We'll take care of it from beginning to end, from the beginning to the rebuild. So we're so happy that you guys are here with us tonight. Shout out in the comments and let us know that you're here.
Yeah, let's hear the people that are here. Because the audience is what makes this really special. I mean, it's a highly interactive thing, and we planned it that way because we didn't want this to be about us, and we didn't want it to just be a talk. Even though Steph and I could talk back and forth for hours about various topics through culture, the core values, the formula, everything surrounding that. But when we have everybody coming on and bantering with us, it always makes it so much better, for sure. And here we got, hey, Tina.
Hey, Tina from Tennessee. Oh, my God. I was on with Tina last night for a long time. Oh, yeah. The Carmel after party was on until after, probably, I think it was like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, Tina's great. I've met her a few weeks ago, right after one of your chapter meetings. And she reached out to me today because I told her that Ann and I were going to go down to Nashville soon. So she's like, hey, when you coming down? I want to show you around. I'm like, coming down in May, I think.
Her and her husband are awesome. Hey, Chris.
How you doing?
So glad you're with us.
Good to have you. Always a good supporter.
Yeah, Chris is a great supporter and a great guy.
Absolutely. And, if you're new to the live, and you're just seeing us for the first time, you're probably going to hear about Master Networks, and most of us on here are probably members of Master Networks. And if you want to be in the know about what's happening, things like this, these lives we're doing, there's other lives that other people around the nation are doing through some of our other regions, like the Master Networks Facebook page. Go ahead and do that now. That way you're in the know and you're informed when something like this is happening. You don't want to miss out because we got so much value coming out, right, Steph?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And hey, if you guys see the value in this, please share this to your page and share it with others outside of Master Networks. So maybe they're looking for an amazing networking group to be a part of. And who wouldn't want to be a part of this group? So please share it to your page. We would really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. All right. That's enough of the. So the music ends perfect timing as we move on to what we're talking about here. And, we are talking about culture. And sometimes, I say that word so much, Steph, so much in so many of my talks and everything. And sometimes I think I just get a little numb to what I'm really talking about half the time, because the word, although it doesn't lose meaning, it's like I'm always talking about culture, but there's so much to unpack under that word culture that we've done over the past. Now, this is episode 8.
Yeah.
So there are 7 episodes we've done prior to this where we've broken down culture at its most basic, right? So what are those? What do we talk about so far?
Well, we started with the core values, right?
Yeah.
And what are the core values? So you people are in the room. Let's see who can put the core values in order in the chat.
In order, no cheating.
Yeah, no cheating.
Memory. Let's see if you know it from memory. We want to see who really knows them. Hey, right. Kathleen, thanks for coming.
Hey, Kathleen.
Dana.
Oh, Dana. Hey, Dana.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming. And Linda.
Hey, Linda.
What is this? Is this Tina's guy?
That's Tina's husband. I met him. He hopped on the live the after party last night. What a nice guy. He's such a nice guy.
Oh,
I'm so looking forward. They're going to come up to New York. When we talked about it last night. They're going to come up to New York for the golf outing.
Oh, man.
So
I gotta
that'll
tell you, first of all, I mean, normally I'd be like, "You're gonna come up here." I want to go down there, and I'm coming down. But for the golf outing, that is a party. That's an absolute party. So you guys are gonna enjoy that.
Yeah,
Hey,
it'll be
Alicia.
fun. Alicia, she's the newest member of the Brooklyn chapter. Woo woo,
Welcome,
Alicia.
Alicia. Good to see you. Yes, was there this morning visiting Brooklyn. Great group of people there. My gosh, that was like one of the warmest chapter meetings I've had. I don't want to
Yeah,
say in a while because a lot of them are very warm, but there was some extra love flowing around in there for
yeah,
sure.
it's
And
a great group.
guess who's here? One of our best supporters, Rob
One of our
Lowenthal.
best supporters that has the worst bad dad jokes out there.
Yeah.
Our pal Rob
And,
Lowenthal.
and half the time, I don't even know where he's going with this stuff. Is this the Amway meeting? What are you talking about? I don't know where he comes up with this. I think he's in his own world that he's telling jokes in his own mind all the time. He doesn't even know what forum he's in.
I know, right?
That's awesome. Hey,
Jeez.
Maggie.
Hey, Mags.
She uses
It
our
was
full
her
names.
birthday. So Monday was her birthday. So a big shout out to Maggie.
Birthday, Maggie.
Happy birthday, Maggie.
I know. Getting younger all the time.
All right. I don't know that anybody's put any of the answers. What are the core values of Master Networks in order?
Yeah, we want to know what those are because those are really at the basis of culture. And we talked about this a couple of episodes ago. It is the core values are the part of the culture formula, but it's not the entire formula because you can post up core values and just say, here's our core values. And I've seen this done. And I spent 25 years in corporate America, and I used to see this stuff in companies I worked for. And there'd be this plaque hanging in a room somewhere or a hallway and have dust all over it. They didn't even know they had core values, but they put it up there because it sounds really good.
Right. But are they living them?
They're living them. So then that is, when we revealed the culture formula, that's what it really is. And I'll tell you this. So this is the part that we haven't really talked about enough because we just revealed it. So we're talking about it a lot, but we haven't talked about it enough yet over time where people know this. But extra bonus points if you know what the culture formula is. I would love to hear if anybody knew that. I'd be impressed. So, Rob Lowenthal, what the heck are you talking about, man?
Are those your core values, Rob?
You know what? I just give him an A for having the guts to put that up there. I think he's got bond and core values confused.
Yeah, I think maybe a little. Yeah. Not what does the bond method. There you go.
Not bond. Thank you, Alicia. Not bond, but the core values. Okay. So if you're a member and you're in the chapter meetings, when we play the why statement, it's in that slide with the why statement. So the core values. But one of these days we'll have to talk about bond a little bit more, for sure. Dana, life beyond the legacy. For sure.
Absolutely.
Shared. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing. We hope the rest of you are sharing it to your page as well, so that we don't keep this a secret, what we have here at Master Networks, right? We want to share that with others.
So maybe we should get them started. I'll give you number one. It's the most obvious.
Yeah. Relationships, right? And what do I always say, Rob? It always goes back to how you make people feel, right? Everything, relationships, making those connections. And we always say, like, everybody's like an onion and we can peel back the layers. And each time that you have a conversation with them, you tend to peel back another layer or learn something that you might not have known about them.
Absolutely. And, when I hear people, they're like, oh, I did a lot of face-to-faces. I always want to ask them what. It's like, oh, you did a lot of face-to-faces, but how many did you do with the same people?
Right.
Because I had a face-to-face today. It was the second one because the first time we got on, and I usually do it for about a half hour or so. And it was like 30 minutes was up. We're like, oh my gosh, we didn't even touch on, we've had so much common interest, common ground.
Yeah.
That we talked the whole time about that. And we never talked about business.
Yeah. Well,
oh my gosh.
I don't usually in the first look, Tina Melham, she's in this room tonight, right? Her and I talked for 2 hours on our first face-to-face, and the last 5 minutes, I was asking her about her business.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, we were just really getting to know each other.
I could see that, just meeting her in that room, she's very friendly, very personable, so and that's what happens when you click with somebody and you find that common ground, you start talking about that stuff, but that's the point. Like
Yep.
that's the thing you want anyway above anything else. And I was thinking about it after that meeting and I'm going, this is the second face to face I had with this person and we still didn't talk about what we do for business. Now we know, but we
Right,
didn't get into depth, but it doesn't matter. It's like
right,
I like that person. They like me. If I ever need to recommend somebody in that field, I know who I'm going to recommend.
right, right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. He says, yes, we did. It was awesome.
It was awesome. It was. She's such a loving, caring person. She's a mom, she's a wife, she's a grandma. So
Linda,
yeah.
Linda's
Uh,
got pieces of it.
yep.
She's got,
Contribution.
she's got number 3 and number 4
Yeah.
in order as we go in order. So
Yep.
number 3, number 4.
So
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 I
did she
appreciate
put, oh, wait, if you go up further, she put
did she?
number 1.
Was that before or after I put it up there though? All right, we'll give it to her. We'll give her that one. So that's number 1. And
There's
then you put up number
there's
3
2
and 4.
more. There's
What's
2
2 and
more.
5?
Right. What are the other 2?
And when I see this, I really appreciate that. I know people aren't looking it up. So, but now we've exposed you, Linda, and we've exposed you, Rob Lowenthal, because you don't know what they are. So you need to learn what they are, right? So should we start rolling them out for them, or what? Should we do that?
I think I want to see. So Linda put up relationships, she put up contribution and accountability. Who can put up the other 2? Come on. Put them up.
Well, Maggie's got results,
Oop, Maggie's got results.
and I think Maggie knows these anyway. I think
Absolutely.
Maggie's just playing along. Chris, results.
Results.
I always remember that last one. Yeah, I know one of them's results. The first one's relationships.
What's
the last
the
one's
second
results.
one? What's the second one?
Yeah,
And
what's
I
number
always
2?
say that Tina changes it up a little. What's the second core value?
Yeah, I know. And I'll give you it. And then after this, when somebody finally gets it so we can move on, you have to get it so we can move on. So
Yeah, come on, people.
I will give you a very easy way to remember them. It's the way I remember them very quickly, even though I was talking about them a lot, but I had to remember them in the beginning to be able to talk about them. So what are they? So we got number 1, we got relationships.
Relationships. What's number
We
2?
got number 3, we got number 4, right? Or did we get
And
that?
number 5. But what's number 2, people? What's the second core value? Come on.
And the winner is
And the winner is.
Debbie Mann.
But
Welcome,
we
Debbie.
don't just say improvement, right? Tina has taught Rob and I, it's not just improvement, but rather constant improvement.
Constant,
right?
Constant. Well, I always say, I'm like, if I could, I'm a gym guy and I work out, but I'm like, if I could have just done it once in my life and be done with it, I'd be like, oh yes, finally, I'm in shape forever. But no,
Right.
keep doing
Everybody would be doing that, right?
Oh, I
if
know.
you go to the gym and work out for, a couple of hours and your body would be in tip top shape, we'd all be doing that, right?
Yeah, I know. But like everything else, unless you do it consistently over time, hopefully daily for anything, you're not going to really get results. And this, again, part of our culture is the relationships, and those relationships have to be built, and nothing gets built at one shot. You have to do the face-to-faces, like Steph and I would talk about, over time, repetitive for some of them, because some people, you're looking to build your network. And so you have to meet with people several times to find out where's the great relationships going to come from, your people. You're looking for your people.
Right.
All right. So the culture formula. So if you guys didn't get the core values, I'm a little disappointed, but I'll give it to you. So here's how you remember the core values through an acronym. If you look at the first letter of each one of those, it's R, I, C, A, R. What does that spell? I don't know. It's not a word. Rycar.
Right car.
That's how I remembered it back when I didn't know what they were. It's Rycar. And then you just go, oh, then you plug in so there's a little trick
Aha,
there.
right?
Right. A little aha. You gotta need these little tricks to retain things because
Right.
can't rely on the brain all the
Absolutely.
time. So Rycar, relationships improvement, contribution, accountability, results. So there you go. So
Yep.
there's a trick for you. Next episode, we're going to quiz you again. If you come back, just remember Rycar. So
That's right.
the next part of this is, does anybody know the culture formula? How well have you been paying attention?
If
'Cause some
you
of you have
know
been
the
here.
culture formula, put it in the chat if you know what the culture formula is. We'll give you a minute to do that. But let's see. Come on, you guys can do this. Ooh, Maria
Hey,
Casada.
Maria,
Woo.
thank you for coming.
But you know what? You want to talk about, we're talking what? We're talking family tonight, right?
Right.
So Maria just came back, her and her family, from being away in Ecuador, helping a family build a home,
Unbelievable.
right?
So great. So great.
So kudos, Maria. Thank you for all you and your family have done for a
Yeah.
family in need. We really appreciate you.
Hey, Larry, do you know what he's talking about?
Hey, Larry, do you know? Yeah, I know you. You're my brother from another mother. What do you know?
Larry, we need an explanation. We don't know. We know what we know, but do you know that we know that you know we know? I don't know. I have no idea.
Let us know what we are supposed to know.
I know. Hey, Aviva, how you doing?
Hey, Aviva.
Good to see you here. Thank you for coming. So, we are talking about family today. That is part of the culture. And no, it's not a core value, but we're always talking about how you can use culture to build it. So, the title of this whole series is Build It Through Culture. So, what is it for you? So, we said that because maybe you're building a business and if you apply a culture and the culture formula, you'll have a much more valuable business, a much more productive business, a business that you're having more fun at building.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy it more, right? You're going to enjoy not just the business, but the people within it, right? All the people that help make the business run.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you can build a business, you can build an organization. So we're talking about our networking chapters. That's at the backbone of our entire region. So we're here up in the tri-state region, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey. And, we have people from all over the country who will pop in here or check us out in regions like Florida and Texas and Tennessee and all over the place. So this culture starts to permeate us, even though we're all over the country. And no matter when you enter a room, if the culture's there, you feel it.
Yeah, and we're a community, right? We
Yeah.
really truly are a community.
Hey,
You know.
Christina.
Hey, Christina. Oh, I'm so glad you made it tonight. Awesome.
Connection and being interested in how we can help others.
Yeah.
That sums it up. I
Yep.
was having a conversation today with somebody. I forget what it was. I don't think it was a branding talk for my company, but I think it was a face-to-face. And it was all about, we were talking about how just providing value. When I meet with anybody, usually a client, because this is how I started out. My journey is that I wanted to build a business for my family. I wanted
Right.
to build a business that would give me my life back because I spent 25 years in corporate America and I wanted out badly. I wanted to be free so badly
Yeah.
that I worked to have the freedom to own my own business so I could spend time with my family, so I can make money to support my family. But the other part of that was what drove me outside of that. So even though that's a great driver, when I would meet with a potential client, you know what I used to do, Steph? I would sit there and as I'm talking to them, even if I didn't know, I would picture that they have a family. And I
Yeah.
go, if I give this person everything I've got, if I help them with the best I've got, their family's going to be better off because of it.
Because then they can help their family, right?
Yeah.
Again, it all goes back to how you make people feel and what you provide for them, right? Like we're
Yeah.
all, we all want to be bringing value to the people in our life, whether that's in business, whether that's personal, that's so super important.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
I
Listen,
think that's why most people will do what they do, of course, whether they have a job or they have a business, they're doing it to support their family. But at the heart of doing all that, we always have to have that balance too, because we could easily work, 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 work 70, 80 hours a week, thinking we're doing it for our family, but really neglecting what they really need, which is time with us. So there's a balance in there too.
yeah. Well, listen, I think if we all reflect back, I know I can say for myself, right? When I was growing up, my father was raised that his job was to be working and providing. So he didn't get to spend the time with us because he wasn't taught that. He was taught bring home the bacon, right? Like that's your job. Everything else will just work itself out, you
Yeah.
know. And I don't blame him because he wasn't taught any differently,
Mm.
right? But it would have been nice for him to be at some of the things for my brothers and I that he didn't get to attend.
Yeah. And I'll tell you from a man standpoint, this I get very traditional with this, but these days are much different. But from a man standpoint, I know that many, many men feel like if they're not working, if they're not making money, if they're not doing all they can, they feel guilty that they're not doing what they're supposed to do for their family. So love equals, well, I work 14-hour days for you.
Right, right. Absolutely.
Right, but it's not really what our family always needs.
Right,
So there
right.
needs to be that understanding that yes, they need us to provide in a lot of cases. In a lot of cases, those roles are reversed. And these days it doesn't really matter. I mean, my wife, and she runs two businesses. I run two businesses, and it's always it's a team effort.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'm washing dishes while she's with a client.
right,
Sometimes I'm picking up the kids. Sometimes I'm
right.
turning
And
over the
that's
laundry.
okay. Like that's all good,
Yeah.
right? That's the beautiful part of being a family, and when you're a family too, you're a team, right? It's got to be a team effort.
Mm.
One person can't do it all. That's a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm kind of glad that some of those traditional family values have gone by the wayside of divvying it up, like mom stays home and does the laundry and the cooking and and all that. Because in reality, these days it could never work because everybody works because everybody wants to do valuable work, and family life is valuable work, but it's not anybody's specific job. You know, it's not just my job to mow the lawn or do something that's
Right.
typically male.
Right. And
Anybody
you
can.
don't want to lose your identity as a person either, right? And sometimes when you get stuck in those things, you tend to lose who you are.
Yeah. Barry.
Hey, Barry. Woo woo.
Sorry, I'm
Barry's
late.
here.
Hey, it's okay. We're not going to eject you this time.
But to be able to be supportive of each other, and like you said, it's not one person's job. It's like, okay, I have something going on, so I need you to pick up the slack here, and that's what we all do for each other, right?
Yeah. Like what Debbie says. Rob, not me, but her husband, Rob. Rob is the chef in our house. I cook when he's not home.
Right.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's like
And some
tag team
people like
wrestling.
to like, listen, I'll take cleaning over cooking any day of the week, right? So if someone else will do the cooking, I'm happy to do cleaning it all up, right? You
Yeah.
make whatever mess in the kitchen as long as I don't have to cook it, I'll clean it up.
And I'm the same way. Man, if I got to go in the kitchen, I'm a baby. I'm like, you want me to cut carrots? And I get annoyed. I'm like a baby. Sometimes I feel bad for Ann, but but I'm happy. Look, if you just prepare all the food and you put it all out, I will wash every pot with a
Right.
smile on my face. I don't care.
Right. Right. And we're coming up to Valentine's Day, right? So happy Valentine's Day to all of you out
Yeah,
there. Because
absolutely.
and that's some people, look, it can be a very highly commercialized uh day, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be. You just got to let the people know, the people that you love know that you love them. That's all.
Here's if it's feeling like it's a forced holiday, like it's a Hallmark holiday, do this. Don't give a card. Don't give chocolates. No velvet heart. No balloons. How about, honey, I'll cook tonight if you've never cooked. Or in
Right.
my case, honey, I'll make reservations.
Yeah.
I like this, Aviva. Share your goals with your family so they're on board and happy to help, so they're part of the goals and achievement.
Ooh, Aviva, I like that. Whoop whoop, Aviva.
It's great, Aviva.
That's great, Aviva. That's true, right? Because if your family knows you're trying to reach a goal, they want to see you succeed, right? So they want to help you get there.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
absolutely. We've done that too. We've shared with our kids. We share our struggles. We share our triumphs. We
right,
share our plans.
right.
We tell them because, we've worked hard over the years. And there was a time where I wasn't home a lot at all. And I would say, look, he's doing it for this. And we're going to do this after in a couple of months. And that'll be the result and the reward for that. And
Yeah.
they understood. And, me being gone, that wasn't, it was something out of my control because I was in, a corporate guy and it was demanding, but it was a short period of time. It wasn't forever because I wasn't like that. I would
Right.
normally be home at a normal time. But when you involve the kids and say, okay, he's doing this for this long so we can get this, then they're like, okay. So
Right.
they
And
get,
they can understand it. Absolutely. So
yeah,
you know what, Rob? I didn't even do my question yet. I got to do my question.
good question. Go
Oh
ahead.
my goodness. So wait, for those of you that just jumped on in the last few minutes, if you would share this to your page, I'm going to say it again. Share this to your page so we can spread this out so other people can experience what we have here on Master Networks. Rob and I would really appreciate that. But my question to all of you tonight is, name something that you've done with the members of Master Networks, like outside of a meeting, right? Like, what are some of the things that you like to do together with other members outside of our regular meetings?
Yeah, great question. Great question. What are you doing outside of it?
Right.
We always talk about what we're doing inside because we're always in these boxes thanks to Zoom. Because the tri-state region, we're 100% virtual all the time, and it gives us a lot of opportunity to meet people all over the place. Steph lives about an hour away from me, but we're good friends because we're on Zoom often enough, and we're sharing and collaborating and working and doing stuff to grow the region and spread culture. But outside of Master Networks, outside of this, what are you doing?
Yeah, like when you meet members outside of your meeting, what do you guys like to do together? Like, listen, I've had game nights at my house and I've had parties at my house and we've gone out to dinner. I don't know. What are you guys doing?
Right.
Oh, Rob.
Okay, he does all three of those things, right? Barry, we know Barry. So you start to get to know people, and this is like the common theme starts to come over and over and over. Barry's always golfing for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Meg's like, go eat with people. Hey, well,
Yep.
that's got to eat with people.
Sure.
Got to.
Sure.
Absolutely. Hey, look who's here. Hey, Lynn.
Oh, hey, Lynn. Thanks for
Thanks for
coming.
coming, Lynn. Ah, what a special treat.
Awesome.
Are you saying hi to Maggie? Say hi to us. Good to see you, Lynn. Thanks for coming.
But yeah, I'd like to know, what are you guys doing with other members outside of Master Networks?
Yeah. And we do put on the socials, the mixers, things like that to promote people getting together in person. And it's always special. And we're doing that. But what are you doing on your own? I was again, I was on a face-to-face today, and this woman was saying how she got together with 4 other people that she hasn't met in person from. She's a new member from the chapter, and they got together over lunch. And she said it was like one of the greatest things.
Listen, again, thank you to Sammy Vecchiola. I always say this is my saying, we don't just do business together, we do life together.
Yeah.
So what are you doing in your life with other members?
Yeah. I mean, I always looked at this like, and this was before Master Networks. I didn't want to go, okay, I work and then I play. I just wanted to live. There's a great quote by Richard Branson, the Virgin brands, just a phenomenal entrepreneur. The guy owns I think over 500 companies, or, at least has a stake in 500 companies. And he said, there's no work, there's no play. It's all just living, right?
Yeah.
So to your point, we're just living like this. This isn't work. What you and I are doing.
Right.
We're just
yeah.
life. We're just doing life.
Just having a conversation, and we get to share it with all these amazing people.
Hey, Kim.
Oh,
Kim. Meet as a group. Oh, you got to.
You
have
got
to.
to.
You got to do it. Okay. You got to make a point to make a plan. Oh, I just coined that. Make a point to make a
Make
plan.
a plan. That's
Make a
right.
plan. We're not in COVID so much anymore, so you got to get out with people because you could spend your time in the boxes, but then when you get together in person, it's that much more special.
That's right, and it's true.
Yeah, yeah.
It
I see
really,
a common
really
theme:
is.
eat and drink. So Linda
Eat
does
and
both.
drink. Linda's like, I combined the two.
Just combine the two.
And I know Linda's husband's in a band, and I know that her chapter sometimes some of the people in her chapter will go watch her husband's band, which is really cool.
Look at Maggie. I said hi to her first grow up.
Oh, here we go.
I missed that.
I'll put you at the big kids table next time.
Yeah, I know. Oh, look what time it is.
Oh, ooh, what time is it? Oh, you guys, who do you think our special guest is tonight?
We have a surprise guest for you again, as usual.
Yeah,
Surprise
I want to
guest we always
see.
bring in.
I want to see who can guess who our special surprise guest is tonight.
So think about this. We're talking about family. This is, you can build a family through culture. Who do you know? And this is going to be a Master Networks member, so there's a tip off. And it's somebody who exemplifies family and somebody qualified to talk about family in all its different aspects. So put in the chat who you think it's going to be. And while there's no prize, you get an applause from us, which should be enough prize anyway.
Yeah, there you go. We'll both give you a good round of applause.
Thank you, Debbie. Angie, my wife. I'm going to say no because she doesn't like to come on and like be interviewed. She feels like she's put on the spot. But one day maybe we can get her on here. We'll see. I'll say it's not Ann, but it's a good guess, Debbie. But who would it be? Sammy?
Sammy.
It's a really good guess.
That is a good guess.
Maybe. Is it Rob 1? Is that me? Are you talking about Rob Man? I don't know, Meg. Rob Man, maybe? I don't know. Oh no, she's saying
Rob
Maria.
Lowenthal. Maybe she was thinking Rob. Is that Rob
L?
Rob
Is it Lowenthal? Sorry, Rob.
And then she said Maria Casada. Maybe.
So Maggie's just going to throw every name she could think of out there.
Keep throwing them out there. Throwing them out.
Oh, it's Master Networks Inc. It's Tina. It's Tina Campbell.
Oh, Tina's there. Hey, Tina.
But we got some good guesses here.
I know.
Rick Gabrielli. Is it Rick Gabrielli? Very good guess. Maybe. Christina, you can't guess 2 in one shot. Anzi or John K.
Yeah, you got to guess again. Guess again, people. Guess again.
Larry says Linda.
Oh.
Maria says Tina. Maggie says.
Oh, I'm loving this. Keep it coming.
I'm not going to tell you whether you got it right or wrong just yet, but you can keep guessing. But we should probably bring them on though, because we want to give them due time.
All right. Let's bring them on.
Yeah, we're gonna bring them on. They're back in the green room, so I gotta walk back there and get them.
And get them.
You've been summoned, surprise guest. You must show yourself in the green room. And who is it? Let me do this because I always forget to do this. So hang out there, surprise guest, for a second.
Oh yeah, so
get rid of this thing up top here because this always
keep pumping it up. Hurry, guys! Who do you think it is?
Come back, surprise guest.
Oh, surprise guest!
Hi.
It is Dana Starr. Hey Dana,
you guys are hilarious. Good. I'm enjoying the show.
You forgot you were on it.
I did. It's just like the banter.
That's great. So thank you to everybody who guessed in the chat and guessed wrong. See, we really like to surprise you. And Dana has been busy. She'll share a little bit of that, which is why she's just able to join us now. But we know we've wanted her on for a little while. But Dana, why don't you introduce yourself for the people who may not know who you are and tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. So I am Dana Starr. I joined Master Networks, I guess, a year in February. Yeah. So 1 year anniversary. I am the owner and creator of Inspired Life Design Studio, and I'm a certified high performance life and business coach. I just help people get after life and live the legacy they were meant for. And as Rob mentioned, if they're looking to break free of corporate bonds or their own prison, I help set them free and give them the key.
There
I
you
love that.
go.
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Awesome. And your smile just lights up the whole room, right?
Oh,
So
thank you.
we really appreciate you being here with us, Dana.
Yeah, appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
So we're talking about family, and remember when Dana and I first met. I mean, it was one of those face to faces we were talking about, Steph. It was it blew right through. It went so fast because we just hit it off. And I highly respect Dana's work, and she's highly qualified to do it. I know she's really good at it. I've seen her present too, just phenomenal. But Dana,
Thank
go into a little bit more about what you do and how you do it and who you serve, and tell us about that, and maybe how it relates to maybe your personal life a little bit. You got a great story. You share what you want, but I know some of your stories. It's fantastic.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
it is.
Yeah, I felt like I was born to do this role, and some people have certain gifts, and my gift was always just seeing potential and opportunity in people because I had seen death so many times as a child, and I know Rob and Stephanie know my story, but maybe others don't. But I'll wrap it up in a bow really quick. But so I have sickle cell, and it's a rare blood disorder, and my parents were told I probably wouldn't live past the age of 6, and at 6, I did nearly die, and, I told God I didn't wanna go to heaven. I saw a hand coming to take me, and I was like, "Nope, I don't wanna go. I wanna stay with my mommy and daddy longer." And when I woke up, I explained to my mom what had happened, and she said, "Dana, if Jesus comes for you, you take his hand, and we'll see you on the other side. You'll be okay." And I thought, "Yeah, there's no way I'm doing that." So I was given that second chance, but I always kind of felt like, what was my place? Was I an accident? I felt like a burden to the family because every time I got sick, like my parents had an in-ground pool, so I'd swim in the pool and that would trigger the sickle cell crisis. Then I had to go from the pool all the way to Philadelphia where the experts were, and it was just a whole process. And so always being surrounded by other children who were dying, a lot of cancer, because I see hematology oncology, a lot of cancer patients. It just makes you look at life with a whole different perspective. And fast forward my senior year or freshman year of college, my dad unexpectedly died at 49. And so family is very, very important to me because tomorrow's not promised for anyone. And so those memories we make, the time that we take, my dad was the quintessential work all day, work all night. And I just learned I had to adapt to his schedule just to spend time with him. So I learned how to change oil on cars. I learned how to play basketball really well because he loved basketball. Anything he loved doing, I loved doing just because it gave me that bonding time with him. And he was a really big, generous family man. And so even in his 49 short years, he taught me so much about working hard and making sure to give back to others. And so that's how I started the Inspired Life Design Studio in December 2020, was in his honor and to fulfill his legacy that life is short and there's so much potential that we each have. It's critical that we do our job. It's our responsibility to investigate and explore ourselves and see what are our natural gifts, what are our natural strengths, why do we leave our families, what is that connection, so that it's not just vainly leaving them, but we leave with a sense of purpose and fulfillment and joy. And like you said earlier, Rob, making sure there's a balance, right? So it's not so much work that you miss out on all those important milestones, but that it's work that's appreciated and valued, and the love is felt through it, and that same work ethic then is fostered in your children. So very, very important to me, and I'm just so honored that I can have this coaching practice to really help people get after the dreams and the vision and the legacy that they were meant for.
Awesome. If anybody has any questions for Dana, please be sure to be putting them in the chat.
Yes.
That would be great. We would really appreciate that. Ask away, people. Ask away.
And I love the name of your company, Dana, Inspired Life Design Studio. And I remember being very clueless young man back in my early 20s. And, someday maybe I could, have a life of my own design. And I heard Tony Robbins say, don't just don't live your life, design your life. And when he
Yes.
said that, because I'm a graphic designer by education, when he said that, I was like, design my life. I never heard that before. And I thought I could actually design it the way I want it to be. And that set me on a journey of, discovery, self-discovery,
Mhm.
possibilities of what my life could be like. And then there was one day when a guy said to me, a guy I really respect that I work with, he he just had a grin on his face, like it was like the cat that ate the canary. And he said, Rob, you can have it all. And he walked away. And I was like, design my life. I can have it all. I'm like, yeah. And I wanted to go for it. So I love that the name of your business is that, because that's really important to say that you can have the life of your designs, right?
Mhm.
And you are an
Absolutely.
inspiration.
Oh,
Dana.
thank you. Thank you
You
very much.
You
That
are an
I just want to
inspiration.
be a conduit that just all the good that's comes my way and all the learnings that I get and do, and I just want to pass it on to others. That's my whole goal, to just hopefully inspire change and just evoke people to really think through their decisions, their choices, their why, and just go with a infinite passion to pursue what it is they were meant for,
You,
despite the circumstances.
and in your story is so compelling. And I love a great overcoming story.
Yeah.
And you've overcome a lot, physically, and growing up. Them saying you probably wouldn't live past 6, and now here you are, and you're accomplished. You have your own family. You have your own business. I mean, you probably have a lot of things going against you that other people would use as excuses. And I love that you're taking excuses away. But so now you have your own family. You got a growing family, right? As well, being a
Yes.
business owner, right? Tell us about that.
Let's
Yes.
talk about that.
So my husband claimed he knew how to have a girl, and I was like, "All right, I'll follow your lead." And we have a third boy, so he's fired, but at least the baby's healthy and happy. That's all that matters, truly. But it was just so funny. So yeah, we have Landon who's 7, Kellen who's 3, and Ashton is 3 months. So
Wow.
I love those little munchkins, and we do have Alicia, who's my husband's youngest sister. We adopted her when she was 14, 15, and now she's happily married and 26 and lives on her own. And she's a really great hairstylist in Asbury. So really proud of her too.
That's
That's
great.
awesome. That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
The idea of family, right? When you think about family, you're talking about, you've got a blended family, you got
Mhm.
your own family, right? Overcoming physical ailments, having a family, doing what you probably were told you shouldn't be doing or couldn't be doing, or right? I would imagine so.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Dana, can I
Definitely kids
ask
are out of the
you, like,
question.
my question would be, when you were growing up, were you scared at all? Like, can you share that with us? Like, were you scared of like doing certain things because of what they told you? You
Mhm.
know, did that limit you?
Yeah, it's a good question, Stephanie. So I actually never was. I was like a daredevil. I wanted to do everything and be all the things, but people were. And so I would observe. I'm very analytical. So I'd watch. And even to this day, I absolutely, and Rick Gabrielli knows this, I can't stand the dentist because the dentist was scared to use Novocaine on me when I had a cavity because I had sickle cell. So he would drill my teeth with no Novocaine. And so I am traumatized. I always say, like, I can do a spinal tap, but put me in a dentist chair, like, no, I can't.
What was the fear? I don't understand.
He didn't know a lot about sickle cell. He didn't know how I would handle Novocaine. So he just figured it would be best if he didn't use anything, or very, very little. So I would be squirming. And my parents were really strict. So my mom would be like, "When you go to the dentist office, you better be nice and smile and say hello, or you're gonna get in trouble." And I'm like, I had no love for this man. I
Right.
couldn't stand it. It was torturesome. So it was interesting just to see in certain friends' houses I would go to, they didn't know what to do with me because they looked at me as like, "Ooh, what's wrong with this girl?" And I didn't look physically really much different. I was just always really small. But I could sense that they had a fear, or they were like, "Don't run too much or don't do these things." But I always pushed the limits. I mean, I'm the youngest of 4 and I have 2 older prankster brothers, so they would put us in a box, throw us down the stairs, and then throw us in the pool. So there was no option of safety. But I was like, when I got older and I wanted to have children, I knew, like, I was a little scared, like, well, what could happen, but I talked about this earlier, that your dream and your vision has to be so big, has to be so compelling that you can taste it, you can feel it.
Yep.
I could smell those babies before I ever had them.
Yep.
And I knew no matter what, I was going to do it. And if it meant being extra vigilant about how I take care of my body, my nutrition, going, and do it. My mom is a phenomenal researcher and taking care of me. in an alternative way because there were no other options. And so
Right.
that's the route that I took so that I could create and design, to your point, the life that I wanted and having children. And my mom, again, I watched her be very fearful through every pregnancy. Every time I would get sick and have to go to the hospital, that's the hardest part, is to watch everybody else be afraid. But I've always said I'm so glad out of my family, I'm the one who has the illness, because I couldn't bear to watch somebody else, because you don't know what it's like and you can't
Right.
help them.
Right.
But I know and I trust myself, and I just wish I could take that pain or that fear from others. That
Right.
is
Probably most especially your mother, right? But now
yeah,
I have
yeah.
another question that leads me to this other question. You're telling me that all these other people were fearful and they didn't know how. Did any of them ever say, like, hey, Dana, you tell me, right? Like, you give me the information and I'll take your lead. You should be the one leading them, right?
Yes. Yeah. So my best friend's mom is a nurse, and I always felt great in her care because she was never scared of anything. She just took me under her wing, and anytime I got sick, she knew exactly what to do if I did get sick. So yeah, so with her it was always like, you take the lead. And then in like youth group when I was little, one of the youth leaders was a doctor. And so he would always check me, be like, "Oh, your eyes are a little jaundiced. You okay? You feeling all right? Okay, then we're good." And he would just, and it felt good to be in the presence of their confidence and to
Right.
just be treated like a normal person rather than like, I don't really know what to do with her, and you pick up on that energy. But I didn't let it affect me. I knew that my capabilities were far beyond what they knew and far beyond even what I knew, as long as I just held tight to the vision of what I wanted to create for my life and one day my family. So yeah, that's great questions.
That's
Wow, that's
awesome.
really good. Debbie Mann says we've been thinking about designing the next chapter as the kids go off to college. As she loves the name of your company.
Oh, thank you.
And I love that Debbie said the next chapter, because if you look at it like that, there are chapters in our lives, and I know that's like a big metaphor, but you can think about that, because Ann and I have thought about different stages of our lives too as we enter into that. 4 kids. Our oldest one is married, out of the house for 3 years now. Second one is imminent in the next couple of years. So what does life look like
Mhm.
without kids in the house?
It's different. I can tell you both that it's different, right?
Yeah.
It you know, it's like the silence can be deafening,
Mm.
right? Because you're used to like chaos and things going on and always something happening. And then all of a sudden you're left with yourself. And you're like, and I like myself, don't get me wrong, right? Like I'm
That's
okay
a
with
good
that.
thing.
But it is very, very different than what you've experienced for the last 20 years, right?
Yeah.
So going through that, it takes some adjusting, and then going through the adjustment of your children are adults and the relationship changes, right? And you have to like let go of those strings and let them just fly and be there to support, but you got to let them go.
Yeah.
Mm.
We talk about family, when the kids were little, it's easy because you kind of control the kids. So, you tell them what to do, and they look to you. As they get older, to your point, Steph, they start thinking on their own, right? They become young adults. So how dare they have opinions that differ from yours? But
But I was
you're
always okay with that, Rob. If
yeah. No, I know that, and we are
like
too. But you start at some point. You're going, wait a minute. They are old enough to make those decisions, and I have to respect them. So,
right.
as young adults, the idea of family kind of changes. Where now, with my kids, my youngest is 15 now, will be 16. We're like, in a way, sometimes we're peers, and we have conversations about things. So the idea of family changes. Sometimes you go through the period of time where you're the caretaker all the time, and then you're probably wondering, oh my gosh, when are they going to take care of themselves?
Yes.
That comes and you know what? We always say, I've always said too, like, the bigger they are, the bigger their issues, the bigger the problems. So enjoy this the when they're small. And not to say that, they can't handle it. Look, I'm a grandmother now, right? So now that's what a blessing and a beautiful thing that is to
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Is to, my grandson will be 7 next month, and it's like I can't even believe that that's even
Oh my
possible.
goodness.
Yeah. Jean has joined us. She's been here for a little bit, but the new relationship can be amazing. And
Yes,
I
it
like
is.
how Jean says it's the new relationship, or
Yeah.
maybe the evolved one. But for sure, Jean, absolutely, it's different. It's the same child, right? But it's a different relationship, and you respect that, because family isn't just about parent child.
Right.
That
Right.
relationship.
Yeah.
We got lots of love for you here, Dana, for sure. Dana is a true star. You
She
said it,
is.
Barry.
Oh, thanks,
You are.
Barry.
Absolutely. Maggie's like, so we got to make Dana laugh a lot now, because
She loves your laugh.
really like,
I just love her smile. Doesn't her smile light up the room? If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up in the chat.
yeah,
Oh, that's so
absolutely.
nice.
Absolutely. And we actually do have a question here. We're gonna be saying goodbye to Dana in a minute or two, but Maggie does have a question. Maggie's asking you, Dana, can you share a story about how one of your clients achieved their dream? That's a good question.
Great question, Maggie, and happy belated birthday. I heard it was your birthday. Yeah, so I guess one of the clients that I was really proud of, she went through my 6-week vision ignition course that I created. And it's just really how to get clear and get going and create a process and framework that sustains momentum in your life. And she had wanted to write a book forever. And the beauty of it is she going through this class and taking accountability, she wrote this beautiful children's book. And now I was able to use Master Networks to try to look for book editors and illustrators. So I feel so well equipped to help my clients, so that I'm not just giving them a blank referral, but somebody that I know, like, and trust. And then unfortunately, her mom just passed away, I want to say like 2 Sundays ago. So but it was very special that she wrote this book finally before her mom passed. And so that has a very special place in my heart. And I know for her it's very special. And yeah, that was one of the ones that happened. I want to say last year. Yeah, that was last year that happened. So that was one of the successes. She's proud of herself. She's creating that legacy and leaving it behind. And she inspired her daughter to write a book as well. So it's just
Wow.
been such a blessing
That's
to be a
awesome.
part of their journey. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, you
Thank
used
you
that
for
word
sharing.
inspired a couple of times there, which I think is the key, because that's the thing that helps us connect with people, so that maybe something in our life can inspire them to do something great with their life, which is why I always feel like we have a responsibility to not just settle for the regular life or the average life, whatever you picture that to be. I feel like we're called to have a great life, which
Yes.
comes with heartbreak, and it comes with
Mhm.
failure, and it comes with a lot of scraped up
Pain.
knees and some blood and some pain. But
Yeah.
when you overcome, like Dana, you have, it just, some people are going to look at you, Dana, and because of what you've done, and you do it with a smile, and when you show up, and they're like, wow, you took away my excuse, maybe I should go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. I That's my hope, just to keep spreading the love in a totally non-judgmental way of just helping people get out of their own way so they can take that ownership.
I think Gene is kind of summing it up here. God knew you needed to stay here to help others live their dreams.
Oh, that's really sweet. Thanks, Jean. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. I do believe God showed me that through a lot of questioning, that God doesn't make mistakes and I'm here for a reason. And once I discovered it, there's just no turning back. You can't unsee it, and I can't not get joy from it no matter how tired I am with the kids. It's when I come up in this room and I get to meet with a client, there's just nothing like it. It's just
And
energy.
you know what? Just you, when you say it, it's like your whole face lights up when you say it. So it's like you come alive when you talk about it, Dana.
I do. People just, they're my passion. I love people. I love their backstory, which is why I loved when I talked with Rob, because Rob's very similar minded. And every time I talk, I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk to Rob, that guy I love in Master Networks, which I hope your wife is okay with. But we just really connected. Very gross.
There's a lot of us that love Rob. So, the list is pretty long these days.
I know. I
Okay.
got to see your
Thank you.
number. I know.
But, I think Anne is pretty okay with that.
Yeah.
I love her too. She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's amazing.
Beautiful family.
We're
Yeah.
gonna have to wrap it up here, Dana. But can you tell us, for anybody that wants to, maybe they're looking at their life and they're like, it's not quite what I want it to be. maybe I should reach out to Dana. She can help me design the life that I want. And by the way, no matter what age you are, no matter what stage, I'm sure Dana could help. But what's the best way they can get in touch with you, Dana?
Sure. So on my website, it's inspiredlifedesignstudio.com, or my Facebook. It's again Inspired Life Design Studio Facebook page. And you can message me, you can sign up for the newsletter, and you can also click the link and schedule a 30-minute one-on-one or a complimentary breakthrough session. So I've just done a lot of those recently, and those have been really fun, just helping people pick one challenge they really want to work on, and we get after it in 45 minutes. They just come out with so much more freedom and the weight lifted off their shoulders. So that's the
Wow.
way that they can get a hold of me.
Awesome.
Awesome.
There it is, inspiredlifedesignstudio.com. Get in touch with Dana. If nothing else, to have a face-to-face, because your life will be better just because you made that connection with Dana. And hopefully, maybe Dana, you can get some people from this who you can help so they can have the life that they really want. So Dana, I want to thank you for coming by. Really appreciate you. Congratulations on the new baby again.
Yes, congratulations. And
we'll
we're so happy to have you back now that you're back in full swing again. So we're so glad to see you, and we wish you nothing but the very, very best.
Same to you both. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the great questions. And this is such an entertaining show. I'll be back just to watch.
All right. Thanks, Dana. We'll see you. Gosh, she's great, huh?
She is great. She is great. And guys, what an inspiration she is. What an inspiring story. What she's overcome so much. And she does it with this amazing smile on her face.
Always.
So Rob, we got to get to it. We only have a few minutes left, but you better play that song, because I don't know if anybody, nobody said anything. Let's see who could guess tonight's song.
I know. So if you were here at the beginning, so maybe you did hear it. We're going to play it again. And the first person to get it, well, they just flat out win. So, it's going to come up in a second here. But as we start wrapping up here, first of all, we want to make sure that you do know this thing, and nobody had put it in there, but the core, the core values, part of that, the culture formula, this is it. Culture equals core values times your consistent behavior.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how you get the culture you want. So in your business, what are the core values multiplied by your consistent behavior that amplifies them? In your family, what is your family's core values that you multiply by your consistent behavior on a regular basis?
Turn it up, Rob. They can't hear the song.
You can't hear it? So that's it. That's how you create it. Steph, you got to thank some people, don't you?
Yeah. Listen, I want to thank Chaz Wilson for starting this whole thing from the beginning, right? So thank you to Chaz. Thank you, the beautiful Miss Tina Campbell, for being such an amazing mentor to us. Thank you for all of you that are here, right? You guys, this isn't the same without all of your interaction, right? You guys are what make it.
Yeah, absolutely. Share it with people. Tell people about this. And, when you do your face-to-faces across the country, please share this with people from other regions across the country, because, what we want to do is we're always looking to build bridges with people.
Yeah.
We don't want to have divisions. We want bridges. We want to erase the borders. Culture is for everybody. What we're talking about here is for everybody to be able to implement to better their lives.
All right, guys, network for life. That's right. And hey, who can guess the song? Turn it up maybe a little bit.
Anybody
more.
got a guess for the song? Do we have any country music fans out there? Is it just me?
I know Tina Campbell is a country music fan.
She is. No, nobody knows this. He said Chaz Wilson started this all. Yes, he did. And we saw Lynn Wilson in there earlier, right? His mom. So thank you, Lynn. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, Lynn, for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Jean. Love you too.
We love you too, Jean.
Debbie.
Yeah, I think Debbie wanted to know if we're staying till 9 tonight. Debbie would stay all night, I think, if we were on all night. She's got her glass of wine and she's cozy, so I'm sure she would be love it if we stayed later.
So here's a tip. Listen to the chorus. Here it comes. Here's a tip.
Ooh, did you hear that?
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Tina. Thank you for coming, Tina Malum, Tina Campbell, Tina Malum. This is better than cable TV. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
That's great. Tina, you know this, right?
That's
You're
right.
down in Tennessee. Yeah.
There's nothing gonna shake this family tree,
Yeah.
right?
Rob's got it. Good guess, Rob. Did you really know it? I'll give it to you. So, in case you're wondering, it is Family Tree by Kaylee Hammock, and that is the name of the song, and that is the end of the show. So we want to thank you all for coming by. Really appreciate you guys. This is a blast for us when you show up and we can interact with you and make this something that will make a difference in people's lives in some way. Maybe some of the things we talk about, some of the people we bring on that will inspire or educate or whatever, even entertain. If there's nothing else, we can entertain you through what we're doing. Steph, parting words?
So parting words are our next episode is February 24th? February 24th, episode 9. Mark your calendar, people. And hey, we can't wait to see you then. And until then, just go out there and spread love wherever you go.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye.